Most of us think that losing ourselves happens all at once. We picture one massive, dramatic mistake or a single tragic breakdown. But that's rarely how it goes. In reality, self-abandonment is quiet. It happens in tiny decisions throughout the day that feel completely innocent while they're going down. It's the trickiness of short-term relief. When you feel a wave of anxiety, loneliness, or pressure, you reach for your phone, jump into another work project, overeat, or chase another distraction. In that exact second, it feels like a relief. It takes the sharp edge off a hard moment. So your brain logs it as a win. But that emotional debt doesn't disappear. It gets deferred, accumulating interest in the background like a bad loan. And the deepest form of this self-betrayal happens in how we show up with other people. To avoid conflict, keep the peace, or win approval, you become chameleon-like. You abandon your own boundaries, your own direct preferences, and your own inner no just to become whoever everybody else needs you to be. You play the nice person, the agreeable partner, the reliable friend who never makes a fuss. You tell yourself you are being loving, but you are actually deserting yourself. Every time you edit your truth, stay silent when you should speak up, or say yes when every cell in your body wants to say no, you send a quiet signal to your own nervous system that who you authentically are is unsafe to reveal. Over time, this constant internal friction shows up in your mind and body. It turns into chronic brain fog, baseline fatigue, unexplainable irritability, or a heavy weight in your chest that a good night's sleep doesn't fix. The body keeps a strict score of every time you lied on your own behalf. And the reason we fall for this is because we keep buying one lie after another. First, we bought the societal script, the grind, the rat race, and the pressure to fit our entire existence into a pre-packaged box. We were told that if we just worked ourselves to the bone and checked off all the traditional boxes, we'd finally be safe. But that was just a hollow rat race that drained our health and disconnected us from our hearts. So when that burned us out, culture sold us the exact opposite lie. It told us to throw away everything. It sold us a lifestyle with no commitment, no honor, no loyalty, and no deep roots. It rebranded total avoidance as freedom. But that's just another trap. There is real beauty, grounding, and health in a true committed relationship, in loyalty, and in standing by something with honor. Throwing all of that away didn't make us free. It just made us shallow, lonely, and drifting. We traded one unhealthy box for a hollow illusion of freedom, running from room to room, never realizing that both sides were just selling us another identity to perform. So, why do we do this? Why is it so hard to just be honest and real with ourselves? Because honest self-awareness requires something most of us were never taught. Self-intimacy. Real intimacy isn't just about romance. Intimacy is simply the willingness to stand in front of someone in a completely undefended state without any armor on. Self-intimacy is turning that exact same presence inward toward yourself. It means being willing to sit with whatever is actually happening inside you right now, without trying to fix it, reframe it, or pretend you feel great when you don't. So when heavy emotions show up, grief, disappointment, insecurity, or burnout, stop treating them like fire emergencies. The next time you feel that sudden, desperate urge to grab your phone, overeat, or run away, just freeze for 10 seconds. Don't yell at yourself. Just quietly ask, what emotion would I have to feel right now if I didn't do this? Whatever it is, just let it be there for a minute. You don't have to solve it immediately. The second you stop running from what's real, the cycle of self-betrayal starts to break. And here is where the trap gets even more subtle. When we finally decide to turn our lives around, a lot of us make self-improvement our new full-time job. We buy the planners, start strict morning routines, try meditation, and listen to self-help podcasts all day long. It feels powerful and productive at first. But underneath all that effort, there's still a constant background hum of anxiety. A subtle, tight feeling that your worth depends on keeping this growth machine running. It's like walking into a workshop and seeing someone trying to carve a statue out of stone. Every time they look at the stone, they see a flaw. So they spend years chipping away, polishing, and trying to fix it so it matches what they think the world wants to see. When they get exhausted, they build a giant, beautiful museum around it. They call it their self-improvement journey, telling everyone, "I'm still working on myself. I'm getting closer." And the subtle tragedy of it all is that every time you buy another tool or sit down to fix your mind, you are silently sending yourself a message. Who I am right now is not acceptable. In the beginning, you chiseled away trying to look strong or successful. Then you picked up the chisel again to carve out a prettier, softer, more spiritual mask. But it was still just another mask. You were still carving away the raw truth of who you were. It's a bit like a child trying very hard to behave well while waiting for Santa Claus. The child stays tense, watching every move, acting good just to get a reward. Then one day, someone tells the child the truth. Santa Claus isn't real. The child doesn't panic. The child simply relaxes, drops the artificial behavior, and goes back to being a normal kid. The entire spiritual search operates on the exact same logic. The rigid inner manager inside your head who is supposed to evolve, manage every flaw, and control the future isn't actually real. It's just a bundle of nervous mental habits. When you put the chisel down, the museum falls apart. The guards go home. And you aren't left with a master sculpture. You're just left with a plain piece of stone sitting in the grass under the open sky. When you stop trying to shape the rock to please everyone else, the games end. For the first time, you actually discover who you really are beneath all that effort. You realize you were already whole. You were already enough in your raw, uncarved state. When that level of self-acceptance lands in your body, the heavy judgment of the world evaporates. You stop ranking everyone around you. The need for the ego to compare, judge, or prove its worth simply starves to death. And because you no longer have to defend a sculpted version of yourself, you can finally be real. You can let people see you as you are. Vulnerable, honest, and completely unguarded. That is where true intimacy begins, both with yourself and with everyone else. When the need to constantly fix yourself drops away, you aren't left with some grand mystical high. You're just left with ordinary life again. Nothing special. Just the quiet, plain ease of everyday living, as if your mind finally ran out of reasons to fight reality. It means when you feel sad, you just feel sad. When you feel tired, you rest. When a boundary needs to be drawn, you draw it clearly, without 5 layers of guilt attached. You just live your life, eat your dinner, do your laundry, laugh at dumb jokes, and make mistakes without constantly judging every step you take. The real end of the search isn't about sculpting a master version of yourself. It's realizing that you were never broken in the first place, and that you can finally stop pretending you have somewhere else to be. It's just returning to what's simple, honest, and plain. Right here, right now.